This is Inspired Wellness with Jessica, your new go-to podcast for mind, body, and emotional wellness. Tune in to hear real, raw conversations about stress, anxiety, and holistic self-care. I am your podcast host. My name is Jessica. I am from Inspired Life Collective. I'm an advanced EFT practitioner, meditation therapist, and holistic life coach, and I am on a mission to educate you on how to release stress from your body and, dare I say, even prevent it, and inspire you to live life with a calm body, a clear mind, and thriving emotionally. If you are ready to support your long-term health and wellness, then let's jump straight into the episode. Welcome back to Inspired Wellness with Jessica. I am your host, and I am so happy that you have made it to episode number 2. Yay! That really does mean a lot to me. Now, the first thing that I want to do today is ask you guys, how are you feeling? And I really mean that. I want you to stop whatever you're doing. And I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast, you might be multitasking, and that's okay. But stop just for a moment. Take a breath. Take a moment and really ask yourself this question again. How am I feeling? What are you noticing in your body as you ask yourself that question? Take a moment to reflect not only on today, not only on this moment, how you're feeling in this moment. Take a moment to reflect on your last few days, your last week, your last few months, your last year. How have you been feeling? And I bring this up because however it is, if it is not normal for you to be feeling that way, if you are experiencing things that you've never felt before, I bring it up because I need you to know that you're not alone and that there's nothing wrong with you. And I don't mean there's nothing wrong with you in that there's nothing to be dealt with. I mean that you are normal. You are a normal person for experiencing maybe different emotions over the last few months. That you are a normal person if you're suddenly experiencing tension headaches or an upset stomach, or maybe a change in your appetite, maybe niggling pains in your body, maybe feeling really irritable. Maybe you're experiencing new emotions like overwhelm. Maybe you've always coped and suddenly you just feel like you don't. Maybe you've had a sudden experience with anxiety or panic, or maybe your anxiety has increased. Now, what I'm going to talk about today, I need to be very clear, is no substitution for getting any symptoms checked by a GP or ruling out anything sinister. But at the same time, you can do this while you go through this process, or even, if you've already been through this process and you're actually feeling stuck, like you're at a point where you feel like no one can help you. And trust me, I've been there. I understand that. And you'd be surprised how many women actually tell me the same thing. Let's just consider for a moment the role that stress could be playing on your mind, on your body, and on your emotions. Now, I want to start by clarifying something. You may be right now in this beautiful place where you are not feeling stressed, but you're still experiencing these things that are happening and thinking, why? What is going on? There's something wrong with me. Okay. You don't have to be in a stressful situation right now for stress to be impacting your body. Now, you may also know exactly what's going on. You may know what it is that you are in the middle of right now that is causing you stress, that is consuming your thoughts, that is starting to make you feel physically unwell from the stress. But you may also not. And it might just be that your body is in a state of stress. Now, if you do know why, and you are feeling like you have no idea how to deal with that, you are not on your own here. Okay. I urge you to take a look at learning effective strategies to deal with the stress you have now, to understand your triggers, to put in stress prevention methods, but also to deal with it ongoing. To deal with, because this stress that you have right now, it might go away. It might be something that you can't avoid. It might be something that, you actually have to put up with for a long time. So let's figure out how we can do that with the least impact on your body and the least impact on your life. But the stress you have right now also might go away tomorrow. Might even go away a bit later if you realize that it, in the grand perspective of things, probably wasn't actually worth worrying about. Possibly. But the thing is, tomorrow you might be faced with a new stressor. Something new is going to come up for you to deal with. So learning effective strategies to help you, not only now, but ongoing is gold. It is gold. And then learning how to release that stress from your body. Because stress is not just in the mind or not just situational. Stress will affect your mind, your body, and your emotions. And I think a lot of us do forget that. We forget the physical aspect of stress. We forget about how the stress hormones that are released and the things that happen to our body, like the lack of digestion and all these things that happen when we are in stress mode, when our body is in a stress mode, how that can actually affect our long-term health, our immediate and our long-term health. So releasing stress from your body is equally as important as dealing with the situations. So I like to teach this in my 5 stages of stress management, and I'm going to mention that to you a little bit later, because these 5 stages, they do cover mind, body, and emotions, and it's something that you will learn and keep for life. Now, if you're in the category that we spoke about before where, you're not sure what's actually causing your stress, or you think, oh, I had some stress a few weeks ago, a few months ago, and I thought I dealt with it. So let's consider a few things. Now, I do have a blog post on my website, and I might even do another podcast about it, about doing a stress audit. Okay. So there are lots of things that we can consider when we're looking at, what could be causing you stress. So this could be environmental. We looked at situations. We might look at a stressful workplace, a toxic relationship, a stressful household. You might have young kids at home, and that is stressful enough. Trust me. I've only got 2, and I take my head off to anybody who has more than that, because, oh my goodness me, 2 is my limit, and I'm very comfortable to say that. So it might be environmental. Our kids, they're beautiful and they mean well, but boy, oh boy, do they know how to push your buttons. And even if they're not, I don't want to get off topic here, even if they're not pushing your buttons, consider the responsibility that it takes to keep those young humans alive, fed, get them dressed, get out of the house on time, probably balance work as well as mothering, as well as a relationship, possibly, as well as grocery shopping, as well as cooking, as well as cleaning. I mean, plus, whatever you actually want to do for yourself. So your environment plays a massive role. But not only that, let's look at sleep, diet, illness, injury. And on top of that, if all things are going swimmingly well in your life and you have no external factors that could possibly be causing you stress, let's look at the world that we live in. The fast-paced, overstimulated world where busy is completely normalized and socially accepted and almost expected, I feel. There was a point in time where someone would say to me, how are you going? And I felt like, I was like, yeah, I'm busy. I'm so busy. And it's just my response. And, it took me a long time to realize that that's not actually normal. And that was having a massive impact on my life. Busy has been normalized and socially accepted, but that does not mean that you have to accept it. So now let's also add in the uncertainty, the fear, the anxiety, and the lack of control that a lot of us have experienced from the last, nearly 2.5 years of just being alive. No matter how the world situation has affected you, whether it has a great impact, whether you've experienced loss and you have, you know, really tangible reasons there to feel stressed, anxious, or whatever other emotions that you're going through, or whether you think it hasn't really affected me, so I don't know why I feel like this. You've got to understand that your fight or flight response has most likely been activated anytime that you open up your phone, that you scroll social media, that you have all of this noise in the background from, news, watching TV, wherever you are getting your information from. It has been impossible for you to be able to ignore what is happening. So your fight or flight response has likely been activated from this because, your body is going, hello, there's fear. There's fear here. There's something going on. I need to keep you safe. So let's keep you in a stress response. You are not alone. Okay. All those things I just spoke about, they are external. And a lot of it is out of your control. But you are not alone. Now, I mentioned before that, often it feels like, stress has to be a mental thing. What can happen though, and it feels like your illness or your burnout, or you're feeling totally run down or suddenly not coping, or your anxiety or panic, it often feels like for a lot of us, it has snuck up on us. But what we don't realize is that because our stress response has been active for so long, whether it be environmental, whether it be from illness or injury or toxins or whatever it is that is activating your stress response, because it was activated for so long, it's only going to be a matter of time before things happen in your body and in your mind if you don't actively turn it off. And for a lot of us, and what I love educating about is the fact that a lot of us don't realize that we actually have to do that. Because in this busy, fast-paced, overstimulated world, there is no clear stop signal for your stress response to go, okay, danger's over. This is over. I can switch off and my relaxation response can take over now. Now, I'm not going to go too much into what happens, with the relaxation response and things today, because that is a whole nother episode. But I will quickly liken it to being like a pot on a stove. So if you think about a pot, okay, and you think about the water in the pot being like stress, and you start with an empty pot and you fill it up with water and your water's nice and cold. And then it begins to simmer as it gets warmer. And that is, imagine, you are starting to take on more and more stress, or there is more and more external things going on for you, or internal things going on for you. You start simmering. Now, if I was to activate my relaxation response and take that pot off the stove and allow the water to cool back to normal, it's going to come back down. It's going to go back to cold, and it is not going to boil over. But if I leave it on the stove, okay, if I don't switch off my stress response, it is going to continue to boil. And then what happens then is, if I don't take it off, when I am now feeling, the feelings in my body, my water is boiling. If I don't take it off, my water boils over. And that's what's happening with your stress. You need to actually turn it off. I don't know if that analogy works for a lot of people, but I actually really like it. I used it last year and I really like it. Makes sense to me. I can visualize it. So if you think about what happens in your body, okay, if you keep allowing all of this stress to stay there without activating your relaxation response and giving your water a chance to cool down again, what is going to happen? What will your life look like? How are you going to feel? Now, when it comes to stress, as I've mentioned before, and as I hope you understand from even just listening today, Stress has to be dealt with from both a mind and body and emotional perspective. Now, you may recall me saying earlier, I mentioned about my 5 stages of stress management. I have created a beautiful, safe place for anybody who is ready to start exploring what their stress triggers may be, who is ready to go from feeling overwhelmed and stressed and like their emotions are just taking over every single day to feeling like you are calm and clear and you have effective coping tools to deal with daily challenges, to deal with the daily emotions, and to deal with and release the daily stress. My 5 stages of stress management is going to take you through learning what is going on in your own body, what is triggering you around you, and also effective tools that you can implement into your life no matter how busy you are or what is going on. These tools can be implemented long term and short term to help you to deal with your stress and to be really confident in managing stress, releasing it from your body, and managing your emotions. Thrive is the name of this community that I have created, and it not only gives you access to the 5 stages of stress management to work through at your own time and your own pace, but it also gives you access to resource libraries of meditations and EFT sessions and other positive thinking skills that are going to support you every single day. Now, I don't keep the doors open all of the time for new members. I will actually be opening them on the 24th of February, just until the 28th of February, just for those 5 days. If this sounds like something that you might like to explore a little bit more, I have a link in the show notes to a wait list. So you can pop your name on that and you will be notified via email when the doors are open. So you consider then if it is something that you would like to do for yourself. And of course, if you do have any questions about it in the meantime, feel free to reach out to me as well. Now, I've spoken a lot today about the need to always be practicing activating your relaxation response, bringing that water back down from boiling back to cool so you can have a bit of a reset and also work on long-term stress prevention. Now, Thrive obviously is a brilliant way to do that, but it's not open yet. So if you want to get started on something right now, you can head to my website. And again, there is a link in my show notes and you can download my free introduction to EFT tapping in the daily life. So it's just going to take you through how to use EFT, where the points are, and how you can actually use it in the moment in your daily life through stress, anxiety, and emotions. So as we wrap up this episode, I want to remind you that again, everybody is different. So please, if you do have symptoms, go and get those things checked out by a medical professional, but also consider releasing your stress anyway, because it's not going to hurt you. It is going to be amazing for your long-term health. Please remember, guys, if you are feeling stressed, if you have been told that you need to relax or you need to just de-stress, you are not alone. You do not have to go through it alone, and you do not have to try and figure it out on your own. Jump on that Thrive wait list, and if you do need one-on-one support, then please reach out to me for a free discovery call and we can have a chat about what is going on for you and how my services may potentially help. Now, go and get tapping. Go and download that free download from my website. Learn how to use tapping in your daily life and start applying it straight away to start releasing your stress. With all my gratitude, guys, I really appreciate you joining me today, and I thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you back here next Wednesday for episode 3. You've been listening to Inspired Wellness with Jessica. If you loved what you heard today, make sure you subscribe to this podcast and leave a review. If you know someone who would love to hear all about this topic, make sure you share this episode on your socials and tag me at inspiredlife.byjessicaann. You can get in touch with me through my website, www.inspiredlifecollective.com.au. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.